This is a beginner and casual friendly guide to Vengeance Demon Hunter in the War Within Season 3. We've got a lot of priorities here, but I have made the rotation a little bit simpler for beginner players. Now, there's a lot of buttons. It looks overwhelming. It is an overwhelming spec to play. It's probably one of the more complex tanks out there. However, I'm going to make it as simple as possible. On the left here is our top priority, and then we go all the way to the bottom, and then we go this one and this one. One thing to note is that when we use this cooldown here, Metamorphosis, you're going to transform into a demon, and some of your spells are going to change as well. As a beginner, what I want you to do is just follow this rotation, no matter if you're in Metamorphosis or not. So in other words, if I go into Metamorphosis, Fell Desolation, Sigil of Doom, Consuming Fire, Spirit Burst, Soul Sunder, etc., etc., they all change what those spells are in Metamorphosis. And sometimes you only want to use them if you're in Metamorphosis, but for the purpose of keeping it simple, I'm just going to be telling you to use it at X point in the rotation, which isn't going to make a big difference as a beginner. Our main resource is Fury. As you can see, well, not yet. Let's choose that. Let's use Immolation Aura. It generates some Fury. Now, can you see this little purple bit here? And this little purple bit here? Well, what are they, you may be wondering? They are soul fragments. And they will also drop when using certain abilities, as you can see here. And you want to pick those up, and they kind of help towards your abilities as well. Like Spirit Bomb, consume up to 5 available soul fragments and then explode, damaging nearby enemies for fire damage per fragment consumed, and afflicting them with frailty, causing you to heal for 8% damage you deal to them, for example. So that's the basis of how Vengeance Demon Hunter works. We generate Fury with some abilities, we spend it with others, and we use our soul fragments. Okay, so number 1, we're going to use Infernal Strike. Basically, we're going to use this to make sure we're not capping on charges. Leap through the air towards target location and deal fire damage to every enemy nearby. Now, the good thing about this rotation is it's going to work for single target and multi-target, up to like 6, 7 plus targets as well. So you can use this both in raiding and Mythic Plus. So number 1 priority, use Infernal Strike in order to make sure that you always have at least 1 charge on recharge. Next, use Fiery Brand. This is going to put a debuff onto your target, dealing fire damage over 12 seconds. The enemy's damage done to you is reduced by 40% for 12 seconds. It's on a 1-minute cooldown. Use it on cooldown. Then we have the Hunt. Charge towards your target, dealing loads of damage to them, rooting them in place, and doing damage to nearby enemies. This will invigorate you, healing you for some of the damage you deal. Now, the next few abilities, if you want to be doing the rotation properly, you only want to be using, when you're in this one here, Metamorphosis. So I'm going to go into it. That is number 1, Fell Desolation. Basically doing loads of damage in front of us and healing us. And then Sigil of Doom, do that in front of you, you know, where your enemies are. It basically does a big sigil that does damage. Consuming Fire, engulf yourself in flames, instantly causing massive damage to nearby enemies. And then we have Spirit Burst. You want to use this to consume your souls, basically. And then Soul Sunder, which is normally called Soul Cleave, you're going to use while transformed if you have 0 souls or after you use Spirit Burst. But even if you're not in Metamorphosis, you can use those if you want. Fell Devastation, when it's not the upgraded version, comes down here in the rotation, for example. So use that one. Basically, use that one. Don't cap at 2 charges. Use your Immolation Aura. Use your Spirit Burst. And then your Soul Sunder. And then we have Fracture. Rapidly slash your targets and shatter 2 soul fragments from them. It generates some Fury. Just use this pretty much on cooldown. Use Fell Devastation on cooldown. Metamorphosis used on cooldown. Fell Blade, you're going to charge your target. And it generates some Fury as well. And then we have Soul Cleave, which you can use which is basically just how we're going to be spending our fury, like dumping fury, striking up to 5 nearby enemies near us and healing us for some. Consumes up to 2 available soul fragments and heals us for an additional amount. And then lastly, if we're on the move, we can use Throw Glaive just to kind of like attack our enemies and round them up, if you will. And that's pretty much the rotation for Vengeance Demon Hunter. So let's just go through it again. Don't ever cap on stacks for Infernal Strike. Use your Fiery Brand to make sure you're getting that debuff on the enemy. Use the Hunt on cooldown. And then basically when you're in Metamorphosis, we're going to use Fell Desolation. We're going to use our Sigil of Doom, Consuming Fire, Spirit Burst, and Soul Sunder in that order. Coming out of Metamorphosis, or when you're not in Metamorphosis, we then skip to here with using Fracture, Fell Devastation, and this is where you then use your Metamorphosis, and then see Fell Blade, using the Soul Sunder to basically just spend all that fury you've got built up, and then Throw Glaive if you have nothing else to press or if you're on the move. So even though it's a lot of buttons, realistically it's like, you know, use these pretty much on cooldown, use these while you're in Metamorphosis, and then use these in this order. At least for a beginner, that is what we're going to be doing. We also have Darkness, which is a 5-minute cooldown as a defensive. Disrupt, this is your interrupt for interrupting your enemy spellcasting every 15 seconds. Use this as much as you possibly can, especially in Mythic Plus. Torment is your taunt. If your enemy is attacking somebody else, you're the tank, you might often want, you know, most of the time, you want that enemy to be attacking you. Use Torment to taunt the target. And then we have Demon Spikes as well. This is our 19-second recharge, and basically increase your armor by a massive amount, and your parry chance as well for 8 seconds. So I would use that pretty much on cooldown, I would say. And it does double up. You can use it twice in order to get like a 15-16 second duration on it. But you want to use this as a tank as well. Now, obviously, we haven't gone through a lot of the talents here, but what I would recommend is you getting used to the rotation and how it works, which is the what. What buttons am I pressing and when? Once you're really used to that, I would then recommend you then look through the talents that we haven't gone through, and then the passives as well, and just see how it all comes together on the why. And that's going to be like a building block learning method for a beginner. Basically learn the what am I pressing, when am I pressing it, and then, okay, I'm really comfortable with that. Now I want to kind of build on that and see like how the jigsaw puzzle fits together with the behind the scenes, which is the talents, etc. And then you're going to be at a really good place. Hopefully that was useful for you. If you're looking for other specs or classes, then check out the playlist you now see on screen.